Have you ever felt your reality crumble, old certainties turn to dust, plans shattered, and everything you knew collapse into overwhelming chaos? This sensation of loss, confusion, and disorientation, the anguish that disintegration is a sign of failure, is the most terrifying and solitary feeling, leaving you feeling broken by the fear of regression, trapped in a cycle where your old strategies and beliefs no longer work. But what if I told you that this apparent collapse isn't a disastrous end or a regression, but rather the unmistakable vibrational proof that your cocoon is breaking open from the inside out, like an egg cracking open for life to emerge with renewed strength, announcing a new and magnificent version? This is the quantum leap of constructive chaos, an essential recalibration of your vibrational frequency, an inevitable threshold to your magnificent next version. In this video, I will reveal why this destruction is, in fact, your greatest opportunity for conscious reconstruction, showing you how you can not only survive this powerful transformation, but intensely flourish within it, manifesting a radically superior and authentically yours existence. So, close your eyes for an instant, take a deep breath, and open yourself to a truth that will change your perspective on transformation forever. You now feel the deep truth. This apparent dismantling of your life is not a cosmic failure or a sign that you are regressing, but the clearest and most unmistakable quantum calibration the universe can send you, a vibrational echo of a new reality already ready to unfold. It is your internal guidance system, your soul, signaling that the frequency you emanate has surpassed the limits of what was once your comfort zone and even your understanding, an irresistible invitation to expand. This is not the end of something precious, but the blossoming of your dormant potential, a silent force that was stirring, now breaking the boundaries that once served as a cradle, but which have now become a prison. Realize that life is not punishing you. It is preparing you for an inevitable ascension, a necessary rearrangement of your energetic field. Your reality, the one you meticulously built based on beliefs, relationships, and career paths, begins to disintegrate not out of weakness, but out of an overwhelming force that resides within you. It's as if your essence has reached a new vibrational height, and the old systems, with their dense and rigid structures, simply can no longer contain the magnitude of your expansion. Think about it. You are outgrowing your old box. Your old paradigms and personal narratives are becoming insufficient, unable to resonate with the higher melody your soul now sings. The energy you now radiate is in such dissonance with what once defined you that disintegration becomes the only option for coherence, an energetic cleansing that makes space for the new, the aligned, the truly authentic. This process, however painful, is the paradigm shift in action. The chaos you experience is the field being cleared for a richer sowing, ground prepared for manifestations that exceed your boldest expectations. Your relationships that once seemed solid but now oppress you, your jobs that drained your vital energy, your limiting beliefs that anchored you to the past. All of this is being put to the test, not to destroy you, but to unleash your true form. It is the mirror principle in its rawest manifestation. What breaks apart out there is only a direct reflection of the internal barriers you have already overcome, but to which your mind still clings, creating the illusion of loss, when in fact, it is pure liberation. Feel this truth in your body, a tremor of recognition. Imagine now the chrysalis, that mystical and seemingly inert stage of transition in the life of a butterfly. The caterpillar within it doesn't just transform, it literally dissolves into an enzymatic soup, an amorphous mass of undifferentiated cells before reorganizing itself into a new form. There is no remnant of the original caterpillar. Everything decomposes so that something completely new and winged can emerge. You are not failing. You are going through your own internal soup phase, a necessary dissolution of your old self, of every fiber that connected you to your old identity, allowing the imaginal discs of your true inner butterfly to activate and shape your new and grand manifestation. This soup of uncertainty, of liquefying identity, is the quantum void where all potential resides, before collapsing into a new, observable reality. It is a period of deep disorientation, where references are lost and the ground seems to disappear beneath your feet. But it is precisely in this state of disarray that the neuroplasticity of your consciousness reaches its peak, ready to rewrite itself, to restructure itself into a pattern of superior coherence. The discomfort you feel is the friction of your new frequency with the old structures, a friction that must happen for them to dissolve, releasing energy that was trapped and which now becomes fuel for your own metamorphosis, a process as beautiful as it is frightening. Every fragment that detaches, every system that collapses, every belief that unravels, is an old caterpillar cell being reprocessed, not lost, but transformed into nutrient for the butterfly that is about to be born. Your perception of loss is merely the linear mind trying to make sense of a process that is fundamentally non-linear, a quantum leap to a state of being that does not yet exist in your conscious field of vision, but is already vibrating in the energetic matrix. The fear of disintegration is a remnant of your attachment to the known, a natural resistance to the void, but it is in the void that the totality of your potential waits to be accessed and co-created, a necessary surrender for your inevitable ascension. Quantum physics teaches us that the wave of possibilities only collapses into a particle of reality when there is an observer. Now your collapse is your higher self, observing that the old waves of possibility, the old versions of reality you inhabited, are no longer compatible with the new version of yourself you are becoming. Your frequency is so high that it literally dissolves the connections with elements that no longer resonate, dematerializing the outdated structures of your world. This is a universe's self-protective mechanism to ensure you don't remain stagnant, but continue your evolutionary journey, propelled by an intrinsic force that yearns for expansion and authentic alignment, an alignment with your deepest truth. Understand that the fear of collapse is an illusion, an echo of the old paradigm that sees destruction as something final, when in fact, it is a vital prelude to creation. This is the moment where the quantum leap of constructive chaos manifests in your life, a period where apparent disarray is the most potent lever for your fastest and most significant evolution. You are being catalyzed into a reality of greater coherence and alignment, where your true self can finally flourish without the shackles of the past, without the limitations imposed by a belief system that no longer serves you, and which every day becomes more evident in its obsolescence, disintegrating for your highest good. You may feel broken, lost, or directionless now, but understand that this feeling is merely the echo of an absence of references, as the old ones have disappeared, and the new ones have not yet solidified. However, it is precisely in this in-between worlds space that your essence is purest and most malleable, ready to be molded by your highest intentions, free from past expectations and conditioning. The void you experience is not a hole, but an open, fertile, and limitless field of infinite possibilities, a sacred space where your new self, your butterfly, is preparing to unfold its wings and fly to a new dimension of existence, to a reality that pulsates with your truth. This vibrational signal is proof that your soul is in motion, that it is demanding a deeper alignment with your true nature and purpose. The energy field around you is recalibrating to accommodate the new vibration you are generating from the inside out, and this recalibration manifests as the dismantling of structures that are not in harmony with your new frequency. Feel this in your body, perhaps a slight agitation, a sensation that something is moving quickly, even if you cannot see it. This somatization is your nervous system's response to the complexity and magnitude of the transformation that is in full swing, a dance between the macro and the micro. The paradigm shift is clear. What you feared as a failure is, in fact, your greatest silent achievement so far. It is irrefutable evidence that you are growing exponentially, transcending your limits and expanding your consciousness beyond what you imagined possible. Collapse is not a setback, but a leap forward, an inevitable advance that propels you toward a more authentic, more powerful, and more aligned version of yourself. Trust that the universe is not abandoning you. It is, in fact, carefully pruning the dry branches to allow new and more vigorous flowers to blossom in your life, in a garden that reflects your highest aspiration. The mirror principle reveals itself again. Observe the areas of your life that are disintegrating. They are mirrors of what you have already overcome internally, but which still persist externally due to inertia. A relationship dissolving, a job becoming unsustainable, a belief proving false. All of this is a reflection of your new frequency rejecting dissonances. It is a deep, energetic cleansing, a purification of the field that allows only what is truly yours, what resonates with your expanded soul, to remain and flourish. Do not fight this dissolution. Observe it as a messenger, a clear sign that you are moving toward your totality. Now, feel this in your heart, breathe deeply, and allow this question to echo in your being. What in your current life feels too small or too tight for who you are becoming? Allow the answer to come, not from the logical mind, but from the wisdom of your body, from the intuition that pulsates in every cell. Identify the boxes you have outgrown, the garments that no longer fit, the truths that have become limiting. Acknowledge the pressure, the restriction, the feeling of confinement. This identification is the first step toward liberation, the awareness that activates the dissolution of what no longer serves you. Feel this smallness and tightness not as a condemnation, but as a vibrational thermometer. It is indicating that your internal frequency has risen to a point where these old containers can no longer support the amplitude of your essence. Your soul is screaming for more space, more freedom, more authenticity. You are in the process of transcending, of detaching from these realities that were once your home, but which are now mere casings, about to be discarded to reveal the precious jewel you have become, the new version of yourself ready to shine in your fullness and truth unhindered. Therefore, do not fear the collapse. It is your greatest ally, a divine messenger of your ascension, validation that you are on the right path of your highest evolution. It is the universe itself rearranging to honor who you are becoming, a silent witness to your courage in allowing yourself to grow beyond the known. Opening yourself to this truth is releasing control. It is allowing the infinite intelligence of the quantum field to reorganize your reality in ways you could never imagine, but which are already perfect in the dimension of pure potentiality, awaiting your permission to manifest. But how, then, can we differentiate a collapse that is destructive from one that is constructive? How can we navigate this storm of uncertainties with wisdom, instead of drowning in fear? There is a map, a beacon of consciousness that guides us through the waves of chaos, transforming disorientation into direction and loss into gain. It is a practice, an active surrender that allows you to align with the intelligence of the universe and co-create your new, more aligned and expanded reality, free from the shackles of the past. If this message resonates deeply with your journey, if you feel in every fiber of your being that you are going through this transformative process and are ready to embrace the next phase with total presence and courage, then leave an "I am evolving" in the comments. This declaration is a vibrational commitment, a signal to the universe and to me that you are aligned with your ascension, ready to deepen your understanding and activate the codes to navigate the quantum leap of constructive chaos. Your energy moves the field. You have glimpsed a truth, a deep resonance in the pulse of what we call collapse. But how do you truly discern between random destruction and the quantum leap of constructive chaos that is preparing you for something monumental? Your mind, trained to seek order and control, naturally rebels against the feeling that the ground is giving way. You cling to your old certainties, to the illusory security of what no longer serves you, because the unknown, the void that opens, seems like an existential threat. This is where many stumble, interpreting dissolution as failure, instead of seeing it as the necessary deconstruction for a higher architecture of life. Feel the tension in your body now, the resistance that arises when the idea of letting go is presented. It is this resistance, this knot in your perception, that prevents the natural flow of your own evolution, keeping you stuck in structures you have already outgrown vibrationally. This is the crucial moment for your consciousness to expand, to see beyond the immediate, and to embrace the greater purpose behind the apparent disorder. Imagine the chrysalis, the house where the caterpillar performs its deepest alchemy. Inside it, there is no gradual, linear metamorphosis, but an almost total disintegration. The caterpillar's body dissolves. Its tissues break down into an enzymatic soup, an amorphous paste of cells. If you could observe from outside, without knowledge of what is to come, it would be a scene of complete destruction. But internally, in this apparent void, the imaginal cells, the master cells that contain the blueprint of the butterfly, begin to organize themselves, to regroup, to build something entirely new. This cellular soup is your own constructive chaos, the phase where the old must dismantle itself into its most basic essence so that the new, the glorious, can be built from a higher plan. You are not being destroyed. Your old structures are becoming the nutrients for your next form, the raw material for your true ascension. Your reality, your thought patterns, your relationships, even your material comforts are the caterpillar tissues that are dissolving. They cannot house the frequency of the butterfly you are becoming. The challenge lies in accepting the soup phase, in allowing the dissolution to happen without identifying with it as your final identity. Fear arises because your rational mind seeks solidity where there is. Fluidity tries to apply the logic of the past to a process that operates in a quantum dimension of reorganization. But the truth is, by surrendering to this soup, to the void, to uncertainty, you release the energy you were using to resist. Feel the relief that begins to emerge by simply contemplating the possibility of letting go of control, of allowing the greater forces of the universe to orchestrate your next great manifestation. It is an invitation to radical trust, to faith in the innate intelligence of your own being. Resistance is often an unconscious form of attachment to an identity that no longer serves you. You cling to old stories about who you are, about what is possible for you, about how things should be. These stories are the fragments that hinder the formation of the new structure. Ask yourself now, honestly, where in your life are you actively resisting what needs to dissolve for your next level of existence? What old identity do you cling to with tooth and nail, fearing the void that would emerge if it disintegrated? It could be a role you play in your family, a belief about your capabilities, a fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. Observe it, feel it. This adherence is the anchor that prevents you from floating freely in the currents of your own evolution, keeping you tethered to a spectrum of reality that no longer vibrates in coherence with your emerging essence. The key to navigating these waves of constructive chaos is what we call active surrender. It is not a passive surrender to defeat, but a conscious and empowered choice to trust the process. It is the understanding that you don't need to have all the answers, but you need to have the openness to receive instructions from the field. Imagine yourself as a surfer. You don't fight the wave. You read it, you align with its strength, and you ride its energy. Active surrender is your ability to align with the current of transformation, allowing it to take you where you need to go, even if the vision of the final destination is not yet clear. Feel the board under your feet, the immensity of the ocean before you. You are not at the mercy of it. You are part of the dance, a master in the art of surfing the unknown. To practice active surrender, you first need to recognize the signs of resistance. They can manifest as anxiety, frustration, anger, or an incessant desire to control the uncontrollable. When these emotions arise, instead of judging them, observe them as messengers. They indicate the points where your old programming is fighting to survive. Breathe deeply and, with each exhale, visualize yourself releasing one of these fragments of control. Deliver them to the quantum field, which is the great orchestrator of all manifestation. You are not losing power. You are reallocating it to a source much vaster and more intelligent than your conscious mind. Feel the lightness this can bring, the space that opens within you when the need to micromanage your own reality begins to diminish, giving way to a deeper, more organic trust. Complementing active surrender, we have quantum receptivity. If active surrender is letting go, quantum receptivity is opening yourself to receive. It is preparing your energetic field for the new information, new opportunities, new connections that will come from the reorganization of your reality. When you are in the soup phase of the chrysalis, your system is incredibly malleable, neuroplastically speaking. Your mind and body are more open to deep reconfigurations. This is the moment to sow new intentions, to visualize the butterfly you are becoming with crystalline clarity, to align your frequency with the desired reality. Feel the energy of a satellite dish, slowly turning, seeking the perfect signal, the alignment with the exact frequency of your new and higher existence. It is a state of gentle alertness, of deep listening, where you become a magnet for what is in resonance with your most authentic future. To cultivate quantum receptivity, you need to create internal space. This means detoxifying yourself from information overload, from external noise, and tuning into your own intuition. Practices like meditation, time in nature, and intentional writing can be powerful tools. They calm the nervous system, reduce ego resistance, and open channels to higher wisdom. When your mind is calm and your energetic field is aligned, you begin to perceive synchronicities, the subtle signs, from the universe that are guiding you through the chaos. What once seemed random now reveals itself as an intricate dance choreographed by the field. Feel the deep stillness that resides at the center of your being, an anchoring point that remains immutable even when everything around seems to disintegrate. It is your internal compass, always pointing to your highest truth. The void you experience during constructive chaos is not a sign of absence, but of infinite potential. In the quantum void, all possibilities coexist. Instead of filling it with anxiety or panic, invite curiosity. What is this space inviting you to create? What new version of yourself is ready to emerge? What old pattern is finally being released to make way for a new matrix of manifestation? Honor the beauty of this space of not knowing. It is the blank canvas where your soul is about to paint its next masterpiece. Feel the vastness and freedom that come with accepting the void, the silent promise of a new beginning, of a new playing field where the rules are rewritten by your expanded consciousness. Many of us are taught to fear uncertainty, to seek immediate and definitive answers. But the truth is, in the process of the quantum leap of constructive chaos, uncertainty is your greatest ally. It is the space of freedom where what once seemed impossible can manifest. Breathe into the uncertainty. Open your arms to it. See it not as a threatening vacuum, but as the cradle of all your future creations. Your linear mind may scream for security, but your soul knows that true security resides in adaptability, in the confidence that you are intrinsically capable of co-creating your reality, regardless of external circumstances. Feel the adrenaline of adventure, the excitement of being on the threshold of something grand, without the need to know every step of the way. The somatization of this truth is vital. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the chrysalis. Feel the dissolution of old tissues, the detachment from old forms. Now visualize the internal soup, not as something frightening, but as a vibrant energy field, full of potential. Feel the malleability in your own body, the capacity to reorganize, to redefine. Let the tension dissolve, allowing energy to flow freely, realigning every cell, every fiber of your being with the frequency of the butterfly you are becoming. This is a biological and spiritual process, a dance of atoms and soul, orchestrated by your expanded consciousness. Feel light, free, a being of pure potential, ready to manifest in your most authentic and winged form. When you embrace the soup phase, you are not just accepting chaos, you are actively participating in your own co-creation. Every thought of acceptance, every act of trust, sends a coherent signal to the quantum field, informing it of your intention to evolve. It's as if you are sending the butterfly's blueprints to the universe, and it responds by providing the resources, the synchronicities, the ideas, and the people who will support your manifestation. Chaos, therefore, becomes the fertilizer. Active surrender is your sowing hand, and quantum receptivity is the fertile earth that nourishes growth. It is a sacred alchemy that happens within you, radiating out into your external reality. You are literally redefining your own destiny through your energetic posture. The difficulty lies in not trying to fix what is dissolving. If you try to mend the old caterpillar, you prevent the butterfly from emerging. The temptation to return to the familiar, to what worked before, is powerful. But remember, what worked before brought you to this point, but it will not take you to the next. The next level requires a new configuration, a new vibration, a new you. Allow the structures to unravel with gratitude for what they taught you, but with the courage to know that your future is much greater than your past. Feel detachment as an act of power, a release of invisible chains that bound you to a version of yourself that no longer corresponds to your expanding true essence. Now that you understand the inescapable and beneficial nature of this collapse, now that you have the tools of active surrender and quantum receptivity to navigate it, the next question naturally emerges. What happens when the new begins to emerge from this fertile chaos? How do you capture this energy, this new information, and manifest it into a tangible, higher, and more authentic reality? The chrysalis has broken open. The butterfly is about to fly. But how does it learn to use its new wings? How do you solidify the vision of your new life, transforming potential into lived experience? This is the threshold of a new phase, where active co-creation becomes your greatest tool for empowerment, a journey of quantum architecture. If this message resonates deeply with you, if you feel in every fiber of your being that it is time to let go of control, to embrace the divine flow of the process and to trust in the higher intelligence that orchestrates your evolution, then this is your sign. Click like now. Allow this physical action to be an energetic vow, a declaration of intent to the universe, confirming that you are ready to accept your transformation, to ride the waves of constructive chaos, and to emerge stronger, freer, and more authentic than ever. Your energy, your commitment, your conscious decision to actively participate in this quantum leap make all the difference in the speed and beauty of your manifestation. Trust in yourself, trust in the process. You have felt the intensity of the waves of constructive chaos, and now, in the aftermath of transformation, you find yourself on newly cleared ground, like a forest after a purifying fire. The apparent devastation you witnessed, the disintegration of your old structures and paradigms, was not an end, but a deep and necessary cleansing. Think of nature's regenerative power, where fire devoured the old. It left behind incredibly fertile soil, rich in nutrients ready to receive new seeds and sustain exponential growth. Your life at this moment mirrors that post-fire landscape. The ashes of what no longer served you are, in fact, the organic elements that will fertilize your next great manifestation. It is an invitation for you to look beyond the superficial destruction and recognize the promised land that has formed beneath your feet, a space of unlimited potential, awaiting your vision. You are at the foundation of something grand, ground elevated by the very experience of the quantum leap of constructive chaos. Feel the texture of this new earth, the promise of life it carries in its silence. This landscape, once a dense tangle of old beliefs and limiting patterns that suffocated your true self, has been liberated. The collapse you experienced acted like fire, removing dead vegetation and opening space for sunlight to reach the long-shadowed soil. Without this radical purification, the seeds of your highest potential would not have had a chance to germinate. Your old reality, however comfortable or familiar, had reached its maximum capacity. It could no longer contain the vastness of who you are becoming. Now, with the ground cleared and the energy of stagnation dissipated, you realize that the destruction was not an act of cosmic punishment, but an act of divine love and recalibration, setting the stage for an architecture of reality that is truly yours. It is the nature of the universe in action, constantly expanding and evolving, and you are a conscious expression of this process. You are invited to actively participate in this reconstruction, to be the gardener of your own renewed destiny. With the soil fertile and ready, the question that echoes in your soul is, what will you choose to build now? This is not a moment to simply react to what arises, but to co-create with intention and precision. You are not a mere spectator of your reality in formation. You are the master architect. The quantum leap of constructive chaos not only removed what didn't serve, it also elevated you to a new point of observation, a higher plane of consciousness. From this privileged perspective, you can visualize and draw the blueprint of your existence with a clarity and power that were once unimaginable. Your new reality will not be a simple renovation, but a masterpiece built upon the wisdom of past experiences and the vibrational energy of your most authentic self. Allow yourself to feel the empowerment of this position. You are not starting from scratch, but from an elevated zero, where every choice is imbued with a greater purpose and expanded consciousness. The first and most crucial pillar of this new architecture is clear and unwavering intention. Just as an architect needs a detailed plan before laying the first stone, you need to precisely define what you wish to manifest. This is not about superficial or reactive desires, but a deep articulation from your heart and soul. What are the fundamental values that will sustain your new life? What kind of experiences do you yearn to create? What person do you wish to embody in your totality? Dive deep into this exploration, unafraid to dream big, for the ground you now possess can support any vision that is aligned with your highest essence. The clarity of your intention acts like a laser-cutting marble, shaping reality into its purest and most desired form. Feel the resonance of this clarity vibrating in every cell of your body, an energetic map for your future. Your clear intention is not just a thought, it is a frequency, an electromagnetic field that you are activating and emitting to the universe. Every detail of your desire, every emotion associated with it, creates a vibrational blueprint that the cosmos begins to decode and mirror back to you. It is quantum physics in action in your life, where the energy of your intention collapses the waves of infinite possibilities into a tangible reality. This internal blueprint is more powerful than any physical plan, for it operates at the deepest layer of creation. You are not just thinking of your new reality, you are programming it into your energetic DNA. Feel the power of becoming a conscious transmitter, a beacon of light that attracts to itself exactly what you intend. Your focus and belief become the amplifiers of this frequency, magnetizing experiences, people, and resources that perfectly align with your elevated vision. For this blueprint to materialize fluidly, vibrational alignment is essential. It's not enough to merely have the intention. You need to feel the desired reality as if it is already here, now. This means tuning your emotional frequency to the frequency of your manifestation. How would you feel if you already lived the life you are building? Cultivate these feelings of gratitude, joy, abundance, and inner peace. Your brain's neuroplasticity, now more malleable after the quantum leap of constructive chaos, will respond to this new programming, creating new neural pathways that reinforce this reality. By emotionally living in the future you desire, you are sending a coherent and potent signal to the unified field, accelerating the co-creation process. You don't wait for happiness. You embody it now, becoming the very vibration of your new architecture of reality. Feel the difference this makes in your body, an echo of your future vibrating in the present. In this building process, you will face a sublime paradox, the need to completely let go of what remains of the old, while simultaneously holding a sacred and unwavering space for the new. It's not about denying the past or the pain. It's about recognizing that they were the catalyst for your elevation, but no longer belong to your new foundation. Like the roots of old trees that must decompose to nourish the soil, your old identities and fears now serve to enrich your new growth. Resist the temptation to rebuild on the ruins with the same materials and mindsets that caused the original collapse. Instead, visualize yourself as an open field, free of rubble, but filled with light, ready for the divine seed you are about to plant. Feel the lightness that comes with this detachment, the freedom of not needing to carry the weight of what no longer vibrates in coherence with your expanded self. Intention and vibrational alignment are the foundations, but inspired action is the bridge that connects the invisible to the tangible. This doesn't mean strenuous effort and struggle, but rather intuitive and guided steps that arise from a place of inner coherence. When you are aligned with your new reality, the right actions reveal themselves naturally, often appearing as synchronicities or luck. They flow without resistance, because you are operating from a state of being that is already in resonance with what you wish to create. Feel this subtle impulse, this intuition that directs you to the next step, and trust it. Every step, no matter how small it seems, is a brick in the construction of your new architecture. Honor these internal whispers, for they are the voice of your soul, guiding you to manifestation. The quantum leap of constructive chaos has prepared you to recognize and act upon these signals with a new clarity. The beauty of rebuilding after a true quantum leap of constructive chaos is the intensified speed and power of the process. The ground is not just cleared, it is energetically recalibrated. The internal resistances that once sabotaged your efforts have been dissolved in the soup of transformation. You are no longer fighting old subconscious patterns with the same intensity, as many of them disintegrated along with your old reality. This means that manifestation can occur with surprising, almost magical rapidity when you maintain your clear intention and vibrational alignment. Feel the acceleration, the sensation that the universe is conspiring in your favor, moving mountains for your new vision to materialize. Do not doubt the potency of this moment. You are a beacon of creation on sacred and fertile ground, and the architecture of your new reality is emerging with unstoppable and glorious force. To further solidify the new foundation, utilize the unparalleled power of your imagination and visualization. Your mind is a quantum laboratory, and every mental image you construct with emotion and detail, every scenario you rehearse in your mind, is sending a powerful command to the field of possibilities. Do not just visualize the end result. Visualize yourself living, feeling, and interacting with your new reality. See the details, feel the textures, hear the sounds. This constant practice not only strengthens your new neural pathways, but also creates an even stronger vibrational magnet, attracting corresponding experiences into your life. Your imagination is not just daydreaming. It is a tool of active co-creation, a portal to your future. Feel the joy of already inhabiting in your mind the house of your dreams, built on the elevated ground of your being. Understand that you are building from an elevated zero, meaning your new reality will not be merely an improved repetition of what already existed. It will be a manifestation of an expanded consciousness, a reflection of your authentic self that emerged from the chrysalis. This elevated ground is your new state of being, a place of greater wisdom, clarity, and personal power. Every brick you lay, every intention you plant, is impregnated with this new frequency. You are operating from a place of wholeness, where old divisions and limitations no longer hold power. Feel the difference in your perspective, the breadth of your vision. This is the gift of the quantum leap of constructive chaos, the opportunity to create not just a better life, but a life that truly resonates with the soul you are becoming, an architecture that celebrates your innate divinity. The architecture you are building now, after the purification of the collapse, will be inherently more resilient, more authentic, and more aligned with your true purpose. It is not based on external expectations or the fear of loss, but on the solid foundation of your inner truth. Just as trees that grow after a fire tend to be stronger and more resilient, capable of withstanding future challenges, your new reality will be built with the wisdom of experience and the integrity of your being. It will not crumble at the first storm, for its foundations are vibrational, erected in coherence and pure intention. Feel the security and permanence of this new structure, the sense that you have finally found your home within yourself and projected it into the outer world. This is the manifestation of your sovereignty, proof that you are the master builder of your own universe. In the fertile ground that the quantum leap of constructive chaos has left for you, with all the wisdom and empowerment this journey has provided, a vital question for your future arises. What seeds of intention are you ready to plant now? Do not rush to answer. Allow the question to resonate deeply within your being. What truly pulses in your heart, waiting to blossom? Visualize these seeds, bright and full of potential, gently deposited into this sacred ground. Feel the energy of each one, the promise of a more authentic and abundant life they contain. This is the moment to be intentional, to dream with an open heart, for every seed you plant now will be nourished by the energy of your new consciousness and will blossom into a reality that is the perfect expression of your highest self. We have reached the end of a profound journey, where the fear of collapse has been transformed into a powerful lever of power and renewal. You have unveiled the mystery of disintegration as a prelude to construction, and understood that the ruins of the past are in fact the fertile soil for your most glorious future. But the true strength, the lasting essence of your transformation, lies in integrating all these learnings and applying this knowledge consistently in your daily life. It is not enough to just understand. You must embody, live, and breathe the new architecture of reality that you are projecting. Your true journey begins now, after the phoenix rises from the ashes more potent than ever, with renewed purpose and unprecedented capacity for manifestation. This is just the beginning of your new chapter, the prelude to your masterpiece. If this message resonated with your soul, if you felt the truth in every word and the promise of a new beginning, I invite you to share this video. Think of someone in your life who is going through a collapse, perhaps feeling lost, disoriented, or struggling to find meaning amidst disintegration. Someone who urgently needs this message of hope, This validation that their pain is part of a larger process, and this empowerment to rebuild with purpose. By sharing, you don't just send a video, you share a bridge to clarity, a hand extended with light and understanding. Your action can be the spark that ignites the flame of transformation in another person, helping them to see that collapse is not an end, but a glorious invitation to the new architecture of reality. Together, we raise consciousness.